Like It Is Radio, people.
So you
We are live
you're
and
10 o'clock,
on.
right?
Yeah.
So you going on for
10 to 11:30.
Some of the behind the scenes of what's going on here. Crazy D. Right here, we're getting ready to switch over to Franklyn G. Come on and get in the shot real quick, Franklyn G, before I flip the screen. Oh, you don't have time. Okay, let's see.
Let's see if we can
Flip
get
over to
attention.
you. There we go.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, man?
How you doing, man? What's up, baby?
I like that hat, Mr. Franklyn G.
Oh, thank you, man. Happy New Year, happy Kwanzaa, man. How you
Happy
doing, man?
Kwanzaa.
All that good stuff, man.
You come to the birthday concert?
I didn't know nothing about it, but let me gotta get ready to go. He's on me already.
Okay. I'm gonna send you the information.
All right, cool. Yeah, for sure. I just got back in town.
Right now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good noggin, all that good stuff. And you know how we do. It's closing the year out right here, Power 88. Oh, we straightening up. This is Like It Is Radio, and you can always check us out to see what's going on through Like It Is Radio on Facebook. Like It Is Radio, you know, we try to keep connected to the larger black diaspora through Black Intelligent Talk Radio. Been providing it. Can you believe we've reached this beautiful month of December? In fact, this is the finale show of the year, so we got a packed information session for you. And I'm going to let you know we're going to start it out strong. I want to thank everybody who's been celebrating Kwanzaa. There's so many events going on. I will get to that. But one of my guests is on the phone right now, and I know time is important, especially when you're in the education field, transferring the information to our youth through the media now, as I believe is going to be happening. We've had this gentleman on before. And, you know, when you get brothers who are educating people on a large level, as we try to do here through the airways of Power 88, through all the broadcasts that are provided, it's important that we check out every format because we need so many things to go right, to get it right against this system that doesn't always want to give it to you. But in any event, we got a guest on the phone line. Good morning. I just want to make sure you're there. Hello, hello. I see you. Tim's moving the buttons. Doc, are you there?
I'm here.
There we go.
Glad to be here.
Oh, man. Well, I just want to tell everybody, first off, when you get an educated brother, you know, I try to, give you a little knowledge because I got a little Greek on my wall. But when you get a master's, you get a little bit more Greek on your wall. So when you achieve this level that the brother right here, Dr. Perry, has achieved, and he's giving it back to the community, we got to let you know there are pathways to make it better for our own children. And he's been providing that and been instrumental in doing it for not just black kids, but black men in general, just the images that he creates and tries to instill in the students that he's had the ability to reach. It's important that we recognize and thank him up front. So thanks, Doc, for all you're doing. Thanks for coming back to Las Vegas. Tell us what's happening, what's going on, and happy Kwanzaa.
Thank you, bro. Hey, Ujima.
Yes. So you got a new project, and then, you know, everybody may know that you've been quite successful in educating back east. What's this new project I've been hearing about?
So what's dope about it is called Breakthrough. Breakthrough, it's a New Year, New You Breakthrough. It's a brand new TV show on Fox daytime. And what's exciting about it is specifically as it relates to Vegas is one of our first guests is from Vegas.
Oh, beautiful.
Two of our first guests are from Vegas, actually, two. One is a sister who has decided that she has 28 things that she wants the next guy she's with to have, 28 and counting. And among them, he has to be ugly, big feet, and have a small penis.
What?
So there's that. Right. So there's we do that all the way to what my bread and butter is, which is as a mother, military vet.
He's big.
Single,
I got
raised her son on her own, and her son has lost his ever-loving mind. And he's told her to drink bleach. He's told her to die. He's called her a fat bee, you know. And the point of both of these, regardless of what the story is that my job is to help them to uncover what it is that's standing in their way so that they can have that breakthrough. And you will be surprised in both accounts what it is that I say and how it is I feel. You might think that hearing a story about the little boy who's got hella mouth, let's just be clear. He clearly ain't got hands, but he's got a whole bunch of mouth. And think that he's the issue. But when you watch, I think you'll be surprised as to why we're here. Why she's got a son who's so reckless with his mouth.
Wow. I'm sure a lot of our parents, especially being the winter solstice, as we know, and the kids that are home now, the parents that are listening, I would ask you, first of all, you said it's on Fox. So I got to ask, how that happened? Because, education and Fox usually don't go together in our community.
Right, so it's on Fox. I don't know that it matters much. It's on Fox. It's on Fox, like the one that the NFL is on, that Fox.
Right.
Doesn't give me any more credibility either with Fox. But there's that, and it's the same one that the Real is on, the same one that Wendy Williams is on.
Right.
The same one that Empire is on, that Fox, not Fox News.
Okay, that's what I seek clarification here, because people were like, Fox, No, we want to make sure you know the brother's on the network, not on the cable.
Right. But real talk, I've done Fox many times, and I feel like this. You are who you are, no matter where you are.
Right.
And if you allow the circumstances to dictate who you are, then they will. I don't care if I'm on Fox, BET, TV1, CNN, what have you. I'm going to be me. And what that looks like is me being committed to our community, me being committed to our challenges, and me being committed to making sure we overcome both the systemic and the internal barriers that we're faced with. It's a TV show, so
Right.
we're having fun. And then we're going to go through some other challenging times. Like, for instance, there's a woman, her name is Cassie, and Cassie's husband committed suicide about 18 months ago. And there's a lot that we can learn from Cassie. A lot that we can learn. And so you're going to see what her breakthrough looks like, which is very, very exciting. Very exciting.
Wow. It just sounds exciting. Just the term breakthrough, I understand that, what it means. So if we could just go back to your past, if you will, but you made your name. I knew who you were. A lot of folks don't know. A lot of people may not know what you did in the educational format. So if you could just give us a little bit of background, because people are like, I heard this guy, but I don't really know him. So I know your format in education. You've been quite successful in the endeavors that you had. Could you talk about the importance of how that brought you to where you are now?
I'm kind of like the Tribe Called Quest. You know what I mean? Like, for those people who knew and loved it, those people who didn't, it was when they heard it, it was like, oh, snap, I've heard that before. So what I do is I run schools. I start schools in the hood to serve our community, and we've been very successful. We sent 100% of our graduates on to 4-year colleges since we opened our first school in Hartford, Connecticut, who had at the time a 29% graduation rate. And we sent 100% of our graduates on to 4-year colleges. And have since 2005. Well, 2006 is when our first class graduated. So, and we've been named U.S. News and World Report top 4 high schools, and have opened some more schools in New York, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and opened schools with my man Puffy, P. Diddy.
Right. Well, as we know that education is so important, as we think about the future and all that stuff, now TV, do you think you'll be able to convey that message of how important your structure was that you provided and what people need to do? Because I mentioned, you said 2 of your guests are from Las Vegas, so I'll tell you what goes on out here is a little bit crazier than most, but we do appreciate that.
I see. I
You
try
know,
to send them back better. I try to make Las Vegas a better place. I'm me. So if you came and watched me do work at school, or you came and watched me with my kids, you came and watched me chill with my family. I mean, I'm me. So when you know who you are, you don't feel so compelled to be something other than that. And the fact that people are watching me do it has really nothing to do with what I do. I mean, I've been speaking around the country in different parts of the world for about almost 15 years now. And you can look and see that the body of my work remains the same. I'm committed to our community getting better. It's just that simple.
Wow.
So this is it. This is what I do. I'm excited about the opportunity to do it. Our objective is to change the way daytime is being done right now. You ain't gonna be no chairs throwing, no disrespectful conversation like the little boy who I just told you about, our guest. He came up there cussing. Son, let me just clarify things for you. I'm not going to disrespect you, and you ain't going to disrespect me.
Right.
So, we don't cuss here. And
Oh, okay.
And to his credit, he dialed back. You know, he still got a lot of mouth, but he ain't never really been checked like he's supposed to. And when I say he's never been checked like he's supposed to, what I mean is something different. What people think is you can get at kids by coming in on that scared straight, hollering, barking in their face. Nobody want to hear that mess. Who wants to do that anyway? Just as a career, who wants to get in kids' faces and holler and scream at them? That's ridiculous. What a waste of potential. What kids want, and what this little boy wants, he wants somebody who he can trust and confide in, where he can lay down his weapons and really just be a good dude. Right now he's not. Right now he's a jerk, because that's just what he thinks he has to be in order to be successful in his middle school and in his life. In his universe, he thinks that's his only way out. But there are a lot of young men who feel that way, and a lot of young women as well who feel like that, and not just young. There are a lot of people who don't recognize that if you just speak more precisely about what you're feeling, then you can move through some of these feelings. If you say to somebody, that really hurt me when you said that, that doesn't make you a punk. It makes you a strong dude to be able to say that, because a punk holds it in. A punk walks around and tries to make it seem like it's something that it ain't. And really what happens too often is with a lot of people, especially men, we walk around all balled up, like mad at the world. Our kids deserve to watch us smile and laugh and cry and see the range of emotions.
Right.
And if you grew up like I grew up, please, cry, you got a beating for crying. Like legit got a beating for crying.
But isn't that what they said? Right, and isn't that being a young man from the oppressed community, there's Harlem, from West Indian parents, if that phrase we all heard, I'll give you something to cry for, or if you're a young man, don't cry. You're supposed to, is that image now being changed, or we need to counter that, or we need to balance it?
Well, I'm doing that. I'm working my behind off. But to be honest with you, I have to continue to work myself, because it's like growing up in a different country. When you grow up in a different country, you think and speak with an accent. Even if you learn the language, the longer time you spend in that environment, the deeper the impact. And so the impact is really deep on me. And that's part of what Breakthrough is about. When I'm up there, I'm being real. There's a brother and sister who come on in actual, siblings. They come up there, and she's just through with him. And she wants to throw him out of her life. And he's trying to work his way through. I think you're going to be really blown away by this, but I just got to be honest with you, really going to be blown away. But when I said to her, I have siblings who I do not speak with. I have a father who I'm not spoken to. A person that causes more pain to the person carrying it than it does the person who is heaped. But I don't know where I was raised, because I'm still doing it. And so I'm in that space with them. Sure, you can call me an expert based upon some of the things that I do, but I'm still trying to. I'm a dad who never grew up with his dad. That ain't an easy road to hoe.
Right, no, that image, just the fact that you're willing to share that, right there shows you how impactful your new show is going to be on Fox. And my co-host Cheryl has a question. She's been sitting here listening.
Yes, I just want to say that it sounds like your show is going to be more therapeutic than anything, and I actually like that, because as you're working through and working with the people that are on your show, it sounds like you're also working through things that you may have to work through. What Franklyn said about the upbringing of, if you cry, you're going to get a beat down, or you're not supposed to cry. I really think that that's the old way. And the children, like my daughter is 15, and she is so different than what I was. This youth today, they're totally different than what we are. And you getting in their face, like you said, screaming and yelling, it does nothing. All it does is make them angrier. And you're not getting to what you're needing to get through to them. And one thing my mom told me, because of course my daughter is 15 and she's a teenager, so for a minute it wasn't pretty at all. I thought I was going to have to kill her, to be honest. I really did. Forgive me.
You can't be. But listen, sister, that's what you're saying is what this show is about. It's messy, man.
It is. It is.
I'm still a father. And don't think for a second that I didn't say to my sons, you'll get your behind. It wasn't a behind at that point. If you're
right.
behind, down you stairs and get up that damn video game, I'm going to snap the damn thing in half.
Right.
How about that?
Right.
I'll come upstairs and break it.
Exactly. But one thing my mother told me, she says you just have to keep talking and talking and talking because it's not always about whipping or spanking. With the children today, and especially with my daughter, what I found out and what I figured out, and it took time because I tried many different things. I tried taking something, but the children have so much stuff. By the time you finish taking everything, they've hidden something underneath the bed or whatever. And so I just...
Let me just tell you, let me just jump in here. You know, we often look at our children, we say they're so different than we are or were. And in some cases it feels like that because we've grown up in different circumstances. But I do want to push back a little bit and say this. That stuff never worked. A lot of us are still struggling to develop relationships with our as adults with our parents. Because all they did was bark at us. All they did was tell us, sit down, children are to be seen and not heard. Instead, with such vigor that you're like, wow, they really mean this. This is not just a phrase. This is not a passing notion. This is how they really feel about me. And so it's hard. It's very hard to then turn around, even as an adult, especially during the holidays, when people still talking, you're like, yo, that stuff didn't even work when I was 14. Who are you talking to? Because you could get out of my entire house. Like this one right here, all this property, mine. Right. This is where I live. That's not where you live. See that meat you eating? Mine. I paid for that. So the point that I'm making is that we, especially black people, grew up as a group, the overwhelming majority of us, shamed into getting aggressive with our children. Like we're, as parents, we're shamed into this place where we're literally told, anytime somebody starts acting stupid or slick at the mouth, we're literally told, beat his ass.
Exactly.
Like that's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And then when you see a kid who is acting stupid, that's because they ain't beat him.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
That might not be the only reason. There might be some other things. Conversely though, I'm not gonna sit up on this phone and sit and act like I haven't beaten my sons behind.
Right.
I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I haven't gotten at them. And we'll acknowledge that I don't know if that worked. I don't know if it didn't work. I know that with my youngest son, I got to make sure that he understands I will knock you completely out. Because he don't listen to anything else. Like, it's for him, it's one thing. My oldest son, it's a lot easier.
Right. Each child is different. Each child is different. Each child is different in the discipline that they need. Like with my daughter, the yelling was not working. Me trying to whip her was not working. My mom said, you just have to talk. I said, well, I'm tired of talking. She says, well, just keep talking. And when I tell you, it's been a major breakthrough because we talk to one another. Not only that, I didn't take her voice and tell her, you know, you don't have an opinion. You can't say anything. I want to know how she's feeling. And sometimes I do have to step back and say, okay, explain to me why you did that so that I do have an understanding why, opposed to just, you know, getting at her. So for me, just talking to my daughter has really, more than anything, has worked. Wow. And I think that's more of what we need. It's not in their face, because I'm telling you, that just makes them angry. And it really does.
And that's the point of breakthrough. The point of breakthrough, and the reason why I've done this, the reason why I'm doing it, it's not because I fancy being on TV. It's not like it's something I've dreamed of. I mean, who goes and opens schools in the hood so they could be on TV? That's really the long way to get there. Just be clear.
Right.
That has not been my goal. That has not been my goal. Picking kids up in the morning so they can get to school on time so they can learn to read better. That's not how you get on TV. Just so you know.
That's how you make our community better, and we do thank you for that.
But what I liked about this project when it was brought to me was that we can discuss strategies. Like, we're going to talk to couples in a very different way. A very, 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 very different way. I don't know if you're going to like it, but you're definitely going to see a different way of taking it. Like, you know, we get the garden variety, he cheated on me. Okay. So we're here now. I know that, you know that. Are you going to leave? No. Okay. So then what are we going to do with this information? Now the work begins. Because anybody could dip on a relationship.
Hello? I think we kind of lost you for a second there. Something happened. But in any event, this is Like It Is Radio. We were talking with Dr. Perry. He's going to be having a show coming on Fox. Hoping we can get him back on the line because we do have another guest. It's a big show we got planned for you. We're going to be talking to the Pills in a minute. But I guess Dr. Perry has, we lost communication with him, Tim's. I guess his phone cut off. Is he coming back? Is he back? He's gone. Well, the show will be on Fox, and it will be airing this coming January, I believe, the 3rd. It's coming on, so we got to check the brother out. On Fox, regular Fox.
The Breakthrough, yes.
Regular Fox, y'all. That's why I had him clarify, because they were like, Fox? No. We mean daytime Fox. I think it's 5 out here, if I remember correctly. But Fox is...
daytime TV.
Daytime TV. But, you know, somebody ain't go over and check out...
Not
Right, network,
Fox
not Fox
News.
News.
Right.
Which clarifying, you know. But we're expecting another guest to be calling in shortly, but we have a guest in. And first, I'll let you know, Like It Is Radio is a simulcast right now on the film, on what? Film Review YouTube channel? Yeah. That's a lot of stuff. Film Review? Somebody got to get back in there. We're getting all kind of notes. Okay, you can check out Like It Is Radio on Lowland Films on Facebook. Watch and share the subscription. You can check out what we do in the studio. See how many koofies I got and hats and whatnot. You just got back from New York. It was freezing and raining and... Woo, I can't believe it. I got to give a big shout out to yesterday's Kwanzaa Festival. Was it yesterday? No, day before yesterday. This Kwanzaa Festival is going on all over the community. There's one today at the Arts Center. So we're going to have to check all that stuff out. I got some information for you. We're going to read that again. I just got to pull this up here. As I was talking with Dr. Perry before we got interrupted, he was letting us know about some of the breakthroughs we need to have through dialogue. And, you know, that's what I try to specialize in is dialogue because we got to talk. But today is another day of Kwanzaa. Because, you know, yesterday was, Kuji Chakasalia, as you hear in our studio guest in here. Yesterday, that's a self-determination. So if y'all don't know, that's my Earth Day. So that kind of describes and prescribes a lot about me. But in any event, a part of the Nguzu, I never could say
Nguzu Saba.
Nguzu Saba. You people, we are celebrating Kwanzaa. Today's event is Friday the 28th. It's a Ujima, right? Y'all know what that means?
That's right.
Collective work means we got to get together and try to do some things, and that's happening today. I got to pull to make this bigger. I can't see nothing with these glasses on. I need another pair of glasses.
Take them off.
Here, I'm going to let you read a minute.
Sometimes
Can you see that? Because it's like, you know, I went into a restaurant, it was so dark.
Sometimes you have to take them off.
Take them off. I just paid money for them.
Well, you see better, but you read better without them.
Are they
Sometimes it
bifocals?
happens
They're
like that.
bifocals.
Oh, that's your problem. You have to practice. Look down.
But in any event, you know, right now it's all happening, and you can go. I believe this is happening at the Art Center today at 2:00. No, it's actually at the library. I'm pretty sure it's at the library today at 2:00. And then tomorrow is the big production they're having at the library theater. That's on Westlake Mead Boulevard. They're having their Kwanzaa Festival. Mr. Avery Walker's has a whole production going on with some of the folks, and they're having, I believe, China's group Sisters, who are the Rites of Passage movement. For them, big shout out to China for what she does in the community.
Yeah.
And the Alabisi Drum Group, they'll be out there, and all the folks affiliated with assistance in moving our children around to conform and perform at these dance things that they do throughout the community. So a big shout out to everything happening over at the West Las Vegas Library Theater 2018 Kwanzaa, because it's almost 2019, and it's a comedic yoga. I can see it now.
Yeah.
It's comedic yoga, and that happens as soon as we get off the air here. And that's a yoga workshop that they're having today. So if you want to get over there and get loose, comedically, because, you know, that yoga, they say it was Buddha. I'm going to leave that alone, because, you know, Buddha was a black man. We're trying to be nice this Christmas for some folks. So.
Comedic yoga is comedic yoga. The truth is truth. That's what we're talking on the last Friday of the
And
year.
to my understanding,
Now, you're a yogis. You a yogi.
Yes.
I am a
And
yogi.
I got two
I've
yogis in
actually
here.
taken the class.
Okay,
And,
so I stepped over into y'all. See, they just ready to jump on a brother now.
To my understanding, it originated out of Egypt.
Correct.
Comedic
Out of
yoga.
Kemet.
Yes.
Out of Kemet. That's why it's
Yeah.
known as comedic yoga.
And that's Sister Suda. She's doing it over there, you know.
Yes.
So she just got back from the continent with
Yes,
Brother
she
Suda,
did.
and that's happening. And then they're having a drum thing. I can't see who that is. It's a master class, but I know Alabisi's doing this thing, so they're always over 30. And then at the evening principal, they're having community workshop class of all kinds of stuff here. Man, I see these pictures. I can see the pictures. I can't read the words. Well, let's see. G thinks she could read now. She won her glasses. Everybody in here wear glasses now. Ain't that something?
It was a gift.
Oh, okay. But as you know, we are trying to keep connected to the community, waiting for our next guest. Check out the brothers' show coming up, because Mr. Perry has been quite successful in rearranging and changing some of the paradigms that exist within our youth, especially the black youth. Because as he said, he was picking students up, He was helping them in reading programs, and he's been quite successful on the East Coast. He partnered up with P. Diddy, and they have a school in Harlem, and it's, I guess, quite prosperous, if you will, because, I mean, in terms of the educational advances that they're allowing the students to make, even with that money, and now he's on TV, so it should be a bigger school. We need to get, and he said he got 2 people from Las Vegas on the first 2 shows.
Parenting is an art. Parenting is not a science or a skill. In the parenting work we do at my firm, we define parenting as your opportunity to be your best self. So before we always talk about the children, we must first speak about the parents. If you are not constantly working on yourself, displaying self-love and accountability, how can you expect your children to emulate the positive traits and virtues that you try to bestow upon them, whether it's through beatings, whether it's through yelling, or whether it's through talking? So parenting is really the full circle of life. In order to parent, you must also be taking care and emulating the things that you expect children to do. I think one thing that I love about Dr. Perry's work is saying stop parenting from guilt. The guilt is those are the wounds and unresolved traumas and issues parents have. Children choose who they come through. That may be too spiritual for you, but children choose parents. So when your job is done, once a child arrives, the work becomes your next role, one of accountability, first to self. And I think that's tough for black people. And let's really talk class now. I think that's even harder for black people who consider themselves middle class and they really working class. Let's keep it real. Because, see, there's a difference.
Mr. Organ, you talking about poor.
No, I'm talking about working.
Like regular folks.
No, working. You see, the Clintons seduced everybody in believing they were middle class. There was always poor people, people who didn't work, working class people, and middle class people, and a group of upper class people. But you don't hear about working class people anymore. Everybody act like they're middle class. You're not middle class. You're not middle class if you need 2, 3 jobs to keep that house.
Right.
And then you have no vocabulary word.
Right.
Because the way still works. Say the word, spell word, say the word. But if you're not home for that, you're mortgaged out. So you're not middle class. You're working class. Time is better than money. Think about it, parents.
Well,
And it takes a lot of time.
as you hear our guests
It takes a lot of time.
talking, that's the honorary president, founder, all this. I just gonna tell you, my friend, Miss Griselle Howard, she's in town, so I figured we could get some of the information that she provided you. And she is the chairperson of the board of directors for the Black AIDS Institute. And as I had told you a few weeks ago, I had an opportunity to go to the event, the fundraising event that they have. And it was all good. You know, I'm gonna tell you, good. So I know we're gonna just keep on working through because we're gonna talk to her. But back to the Kwanzaa Festival, because also happening today, Black Wellness, which is what we try to always keep foremost in front out here. Black Wellness is happening today. This is all happening as part of the Kwanzaa Festival, and you could go over and check it out from 2 to 3:15. We need more time than that, but it's a Black Wellness class of strategies for boys and young men how to live longer, stronger, and it's facilitated by Shinu L.A.J. Jape, CEO of Black Men's Wellness, Inc. So we are just waiting. We're not waiting. We're hearing stuff. And as you know, then we're going to go out and just dialogue. It's a good thing that we do have Ms. Howard in because all the phones are done. Can we do it on that? I don't know if we could do it on that, though. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out. Find out from the tech if we can still have that happen. If so, we'll do it that way.
And then on Saturday, also from 1 to 3, we have the Young People's Poets Corner conference room. And that's going to be, Keith Brantley is actually doing that. So that's exciting to attend when he used to do the Poets Corner.
Right, he still does the poet. He's the Griot, one of the Griot Nation, brothers.
And that's an amazing, that's something amazing to attend. My daughter and my niece is wanting to write poetry. And Saturday, Friday at 6:30 to 8:30, and on Saturday from 4 to 6, the world is my home, the life of Paul Robeson. So they're going to talk about that, talk about his life and all the things that he did. So it's a whole lot of things going on from now to the ending of the new year for Kwanzaa. And all this information you can get from the West Las Vegas Library and the West Las Vegas Art Center. So.
Right, and that's over there right on the corner of Lake Mead, opposite the Agassiz Prep School. It's a 941 or 947.
951 West
right.
Lake Mead Boulevard. So it's the jewel of the community.
Right there, and big
So
shout out to all the ladies and the people
right there,
participating, keeping
definitely.
those arts programs all year long, from the kids at the Smith Center, Dr. Robinson,
Yes.
and all the ladies, and both Jape sisters who are over there, one in the Arts Center, one in the library. Without the work that they do, I'm going to tell you, because we're going to talk about our event coming up, Black History Month. You know how we do it, Kemet in the Desert series. Without their help and definitely guidance and definitely support on several levels, I'm telling you, I couldn't do it. So a big shout out to Miss Jape over at the Library Theater. I'm telling you, very instrumental in making that happen, because I guess as you would try to call in, you can't call in. Our phone lines seem to have been zapped for the moment. So I don't know what's happening over there, because we had a special guest that was going to call in. I'm just going to call it out front. It's a conspiracy, y'all. It's a conspiracy. We was going to talk to these two young men who will be here, and I guess that's a good segue to the program that we will be providing here. It was part of the 6th annual Kemet in the Desert series. That's right. We're 6 years strong, y'all, with the strength of the community and the support from the community from several different folks. I want to thank you in advance for those who helped in the past and those who wish to help in the future, because it's important that we celebrate Black history. The way I try to do it is for free, y'all. Because that's the difference. I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate all the struggles the organizations will be doing during Black History Month to generate revenue. I believe knowledge is its own revenue. It's its own capital. It's personal capital. So the 6th annual Kemet in the Desert series will be starting February 21st. It's actually the last weekend of the year. Go party and do other stuff. We're going to have some other stuff going on, but I think it's important we talk about this particular event, because my guest is an internet, he and his brother are internet sensations, gurus, prophets, if you will. They cover lots of ground on the internet. And it was providing an intergenerational moment for the community here. But we were going to talk with this gentleman, he and his brother, the blue pill and the red pill. And we would love to. We had the phone lines are down. No, we can't do it on that line. We're talking in the media here. We can't do it that way. It's not going to happen. So unfortunately, our phone lines are down, so we won't be able to hear from the blue and the red pill. You can go to YouTube. Yes, you can go to YouTube and check out their videos. The youth know who they are. I'm trying to connect this intergenerationally this year, so we would have heard from this gentleman. But he and his brother provided different insight, concept, and content methodology
and perspective
of all the things that we as little older folks may not have gathered through our they're out there. I'm just gonna say. So what happens is they have thousands of viewers, and whenever they do light up the internet, their viewers are much akin to our youth. They're talking about things in a different concept that we may have learned, even though we may have attended those households. These kids nowadays, and I not just mean millennials, I mean, it was a Generation Y, Generation X, and I don't even know what it's called anymore. I myself am the dwindling bass of the baby boomers. So, we were the thing, but no longer are. But as you would know, it's important that we connect with our youth. So the Black Weekend provided would be February 21st through the 23rd. The first night, we're going to have some feathers rustled, because we got to hear from everybody.
Yes.
And this individual is known as Freeway Rick Ross. Now, I know some of y'all saying, this guy's a no. We're not talking about Rick. We're not talking about Rick Freeway Ross. That's his name. We're talking about Freeway Rick Ross. He's a young man, African American, who rose to prominence through the crack game, if you will. And if you do your due diligence history, he has there's a documentary out about his life. He's written a couple of books. Well, our book, I believe. He's going to come here and dialogue and tell us basically as one of the biggest drug dealers of the nation, because with the help of the CIA. I said that. The CIA, under the Reagan and, Bush was around too. They're talking about Bush Sr., because he was part of the CIA. They showed this man, were instrumental in allowing him to spread crack all through the continental United States. There's a movie out. There's documentaries out. You can probably see it on Facebook. Not Facebook. It's YouTube or what's the other one? Netflix. It's all. You got to talk to the folks. But Mr. Freeway Rick Ross will be coming to our town to open our 6th annual Kemet in the Desert series, and this will be happening also at the Library Theater, 951 West Lake Mead Boulevard. Thursday night, February 21st. Yes, Freeway Rick Ross will be speaking to our youth. And while he's going to be here in Vegas, just so you know, because we're seeking help for individuals, he'll be speaking with Yes, some of our local high schools. We're working with the Clark County people, and we have some stuff already lined up. So if you want to be helpful in that event, because it is important that our children here, there is no pension plan
Yes.
for drug dealers.
No
There is
future.
no glorification in
Right.
terms of the demise of your community by spreading poison, which drugs is, or however you want to phrase it. But as you look at it, Mr. Ross will be in town, and he's taking time out of his busy schedule to come talk to us as a community and explain some of the pitfalls along with the rises in the draw of money, drugs, and women and music, how that's meant to pull us in, and how with the complicit help of the CIA, he was able to move drugs. And that also includes Bill Clinton, y'all. I ain't letting Clinton off the hit, because some of those, if you would look up, and I'm just telling you, come here where his dialogues are, because some of that, Mr. Clinton was involved in this thing because he opened an airport in his state that only allowed 1 or 2 planes in a day. And it was not covered by the FCC, and it was allowed to bring drugs and take drugs out and bring guns in for the Contras. So you ever think Mr. Clinton got to be president? He knew something about something, talked about something. And Mr. Ross, as a young African-American man, was involved in doing that. There's also a series on
Snowfall.
that's about his life, done by John Singletary, and it's talking about the rise of the crack drug thing. So this individual, it may not reach all of us because of our age or prosperity or whatever, just lack of knowledge of what he's done or the implications of what growth a man can make after being incarcerated. Come hear his story. A lot of kids believe that this is the way to do it, or has been the way to do it, or prescribed the way to do it. He's going to tell you how it was done to him. Okay, so that's Thursday night at the 6th Annual Chem and Desert Series. These are all happening at the West Las Vegas Library Theater. You can go to Like It Is Radio on Facebook to check out the dates. We got some promos coming up, and this is in conjunction with several other groups, because I got to talk about Miss Shamika Webb over at African Traditions, who's always facilitating and trying to get folks together to come be more conscious about their community, and that's a great organization over there. She's got a good store. African Traditions right up there off of Lake Mead. Not Lake Mead,
believe she's
sorry.
doing a Kwanzaa event.
She's doing a Kwanzaa event also. It's not Lake, I'm sorry, it's Valley View.
900 South Valley View.
900 South Valley View, at least Suite 110.
110, that's correct.
And she does all kind of events. You need to connect with her African Traditions on Facebook, because she has a lot of events in her in her store also. So she's supporting that. I also got to give a big shout out to Mastering Mindsets, because they do a lot of the labor. They run around with a brother, So you heard LJ right there, the founder.
Yes.
He's also being recognized in several events during the course of this year, and he will be recognized again in January for his outreach and support as one of the future leaders. I know he's already a leader. I don't know he's about a future leader, but he's already one of the leaders of the community with the Mastering Mindset and all the group, the brothers that get down over there, Barrio, Corey, and what's up, brother name?
Michael, Miss Tiffany.
And Miss Tiffany. So we appreciate your input and all that good stuff. And they're also supporting the 6th Annual Chem in the Desert Series. And then we're closing it out on Saturday, because, the music is important to these kids. That's why I'm sorry we can't hear from the Pills. The Pill, I was talking to the Pill, and, I saw him on 125th Street in some of Hollywood. I said, man, we can bring you to Vegas, man. Yeah. But we bringing them because the knowledge that they're spreading, and like he said, one of the things in context, music is the cotton for our kids today. That's the cotton plantation, that's the field, that's the whoopings. That's the whole personification of what it is. Music to these kids now. That's the way out, that's the way in, it's the way up, it's the way through. Look at Cardi B. From the pole to the White House, y'all, but in any event, we just gonna talk real.
From the pole to the White
She's going to the White House. Y'all kidding? Come on, Bush love her. Because it's still Bush in control, but he ain't gonna bring her to the White House. Groups come here, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes.
He had Natalie Cole, but she's still like whoever. He had them all. Chaka Khan.
He had Jay-Z.
He had Jay-Z.
He had Jussie Smollett.
Well, we're gonna talk about all of that because that's what these guys are. And we're having this thing called the Night of the Negro Spiritual. It will be under the artistic direction of my good friend, Mr. Oscar Robinson, part of Platinum Productions, who comes in every year to give us his best. Because, when you got a degree in fine arts, there's only a few things you could do. And this is one of the things he do well.
Oscar Robinson trained as a Shaw player.
There you go. Shaw University, HBCU in the place to be. So as you would know, we're bringing that, and we're also going to have we're showing the connection from the music. Because at one time, those were harvest songs, those were field songs, those were songs that got us to perform as a village in the maintenance of the village, whether it was the hunting song or whether it was the fielding song in terms of the growth, plantation, farming.
May I submit to you the songs that we call Negro spirituals were actually the unity songs. And we don't have those today.
Yes, we do.
No.
It's just Kanye West. You ain't down no more.
Here's the deal. Those songs were the songs that Africans of many tongues
Correct.
came to learn one language to toil in the fields, to heal their hearts, to
show love,
strengthen their
pride,
men.
all of that.
Today, as Black Americans, we do not have a unity song.
Well, no,
I submit to you today, we do not have that unity song. And the reason we don't is when we have black men showing the same chauvinism as the president. And the first place you see it is in the politics of today. That's the only area the civil rights left unaddressed was inter-chauvinism. We talked about racism. We talk about sexism, but we don't talk about it amongst the race. And today, black men are showing their chauvinism when they vote. Black men are voting in double digits for Republicans like Donald Trump, like Mr. Kemp, like Ted Cruz. I'm going to pull you all the way back. So see, those songs, when we say, swing low, everybody sang. Today now, we're more divided than we've ever
But we
been.
don't know the Negro National Anthem as we even progress to the Negro songs.
My point, we do not have unity songs today.
But the kids
Cardi
never- so they
B,
know
Cardi
Cardi-
B
what she
said,
say?
let
I'm
the
a
money.
boss, I'm a
There
boss,
she
I'm
go.
a-
But who you bossing?
Well, Ms. Howard, if
Yes,
I can,
sir.
if
I
can
want you
interject,
to.
absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you when we come and we think about and we talk about the influence of music. But at the same time, can we all agree that if we fast forward here to 2018, that the music once it was identified that music was a tool of unity, that now that it's been weaponized and it's being used against our youth?
Absolutely. We don't have soul anymore. Think back to
But that's
Isaac
what,
Hayes.
okay, so if I may digress for a moment, because that's what we're showing at the Night of the Negro Spiritual.
Exactly.
That music that took us through, because that music ultimately became gospel.
Exactly.
That music ultimately became blues.
Right. Yes.
That music was the Motown sound.
Okay.
That was the sound of Philadelphia.
That's when we loved
Wake up
one
everybody.
We love one another.
But we don't love each other now?
I think
Why they got quiet?
as adults, we're on the hamster wheel right now. So as adults, we're on the hamster wheel. We're working, we're paying mortgages. We're not parenting anymore.
There you go.
So who's raising the youth? The music are raising the youth. So
That's why I
like I
said we
said,
mortgaged out.
in 2018, when we look at the most influential people in our youth lives, it's these rappers.
And basketball players.
Well, let's talk about LeBron's show.
wait,
LeBron got a
But LeBron is
podcast.
hot, but LeBron is leading.
But wait a second. Okay, I kind of have to disagree because music and fashion and all of that, it's not raising my child.
I agree.
I'm raising my daughter. And I think that that there are those of us that are raising our children.
Absolutely.
Maybe not as many as it was, when my parents were raising us. Maybe we have allowed the music and TV and fashion and everything to dictate, but there are still mothers and fathers like myself that are raising our children. And my daughter knows the difference between, she knows Jimi Hendrix, she knows Otis Redding.
Those are
because
conscious
that's the kind of
decisions.
music that I play for her.
And Cheryl,
And I
you
just
represent
now
a small
started to let
demographic.
her-
You represent a very small minority of parents. Because even earlier when we were on the phone dialoguing with Dr. Perry, you said, I sat down and I talked with my daughter. And now that I can dialogue with her better, I have more of an influence because you understand her now through the dialogue. So when we was talking about earlier when we said, well, we just can't fuss at them because they ain't worried about that. That's not impactful. We talk about we can't spank them. When we listen to, when we take and we consider the music that these youth listen to, it's death culture. They're not afraid of dying, so they darn sure ain't afraid of no whooping. So we spend so much time trying to give them the experiences that we have, but we haven't spent enough time getting to know them so that we can dialogue with them in a language that they understand. Because Cardi B is speaking their language. The Migos are speaking their language. And when we start talking about how music has been weaponized, it's no accident that they take these diabolical people, the lowest of the low, and they dress them up in all these jewels, and they present them to our youth as symbols of success. So that's all by design. So even as parents, active parents like yourself, that's the battle that you're dealing with.
And it is a battle. But one thing, so I remember when Nicki Minaj first came out, and my daughter thought, because everybody was listening to her, this is who I want to listen to. I wasn't quite familiar with her at the time, but I said, you know what, we're going to put in this CD or whatever, and we're going to listen. And when my daughter finished listening to some of that ratchetness and some of that ugliness and degradingness, my daughter was like, no, Mom. I said, but no, this is what you want to listen to. You want to be a part of this. But when we sat down and I made her listen to the words, not the beat of the music, listen to the words. Is this what you want to be?
That's why I'm
And
back
she
on
was
Cardi
able
B.
to, and she was able to say, you know what, no, that didn't make me feel good.
Well,
You
you're
know, and
still
I think that's what we have
with
to,
your
and I think
daughter
that's
is
what
that
we have to do.
your daughter's gonna be able to make the choice, and that's the great thing. She can listen to a Cardi B, but she knows what she's grounded in, and what he said was very important. That's a very small percentage of the listeners. I mean, we got to get the masses to where your daughter is.
And just so y'all stop texting me, because I got 2 texts. The phone lines are down. I can only apologize. I'm not reading what you wrote because it's too long. I'm sorry, but again, I'm sorry. Our phone lines are down, but we have the pleasure of talking with Dr. Griselle Howard. You know, yes, I seen that. And we got Miss. I'm being 600. We got Miss Griselle Howard and my friend in the room. She's kicking it. She's not giving us anything that we don't need to know. And we got LJ, who always provides the information on how to do it better with the kids because he's doing it himself. And, you know, always glad that be connected right now. Like It Is Radio is simulcasting on the film channel. That's right, the Film Review channel on YouTube. If you want to go to YouTube on the Film Review channel, you can check out what we're sitting here looking like because we can't talk to you. But Like It Is Radio is also on Facebook at Lordland Films. And, you know, you can check us always out. Just comment and subscribe. Let us know. The phone lines are down. Just try. Whatever you wrote is too long. I'm sorry you got my text. But it's not me. We were going to be talking with the pills. But just like the conspiracy would have it, as soon as I put it out there on Facebook and let folks know, we kind of got preempted through technologies. But these gentlemen in the dialogue that we're having now is based on the fact that we're going to be we're going to talk to him. We're bringing him to the schools to talk to the high school students because we need some help with our students and providing them with dialogue and information, as Dr. Perry told us. And then we're going to have these 2 gentlemen from the internet, and for the, I guess, the non-internet folks. These guys are on the internet big. I mean, the youth is on the internet big. They have
Blue
their own
pill and
channel.
red pill are social media phenomenons. They're influencers, they're content
leaders.
designers, and they are also innovators. Because what blue and red pill are really doing is challenging us as Black Americans of all ages to do what we did originally. Hold one another accountable. So when blue pill and red pill talk about celebrities who have sold out, it may not be your opinion, but they are coming back to accountability. There's some rules regardless of what race you are. If the least of us is not good, then none of us. How dare I say, you know, Black Panthers. Just go back and look at the doctrine of the Black Panthers. If you just look at them, whether you feel you were down with them or not, you cannot disagree with the doctrine of the Black Panthers. And blue and red pill are at least uplifting that message the same way the last poets did.
Right.
The revolution will what?
Not be televised.
Excuse me, it will not be what? Social media. Social media is a place. I always challenge Black women. If you really want to know who you are, you must read. Because it's not going to be on TV. Now,
Well, they read Michelle's book.
Well,
Who's buying that book? White women or Black women?
Everyone.
Women.
And
ladies.
so what I love about our former First Lady, Michelle Obama's book, is that she had the courage to peel back and crack open her chest and tell her story. Her story is not my story. And things that she shared in her story, I quite frankly really appreciate. Being a 3rd generation New Yorker, legacy heritage African and West Indian, I also have an expectation of our First Lady. And some of the things she addressed in the book were things that, for me, being a 3rd generation New Yorker, really expected of our First Lady. However, she was from the Midwest, different upbringing, different philosophies, but we all have the same virtues, right? From a home of love. So she arrived in the White House as herself, with her experiences, and she shared those. So whether it was her arms were out or on Inauguration Day, she didn't choose an African-American designer, or we would have liked to have seen her in a different color. She shared her pains, her challenges, and her joys. And so everyone should read her book. The same way we rush to read The Life of Jackie O, or For the Beyonce Tribe. Read the book because she represents a story of a Black woman. That full stop. You know, as we close out the year, do we stop and think about the Black women who still dare to carry the message forward. Maxine Waters, Barbara Lee. Notice those I don't mention. That's what Blue and Red Pill are doing. Notice the ones I didn't mention. But I did mention Maxine Waters. I did mention Barbara Lee. I do often mention the Honorable Donna Christensen. She's retired.
You're right.
Huh?
Because
Shirley Chisholm. Come on now.
Well, I did a show just a few weeks ago
Robert
with Ella
Jordan.
Baker. People don't even know
Oh
who
my
Ella
gosh,
Baker
how
was.
is it possible you don't?
You'd be
Because you
surprised.
must read, because the revolution will what?
Not be televised.
So there we go. Blue and Red Pill, on point. LJ, on point. As a mother, you had to dig deep. But the first place, and every time you share, you go back and quote who? Your mother. You don't go and quote Beyonce, Cardi B, Oprah.
Absolutely.
Yes, I said it. You didn't quote Oprah.
Right.
You quoted your mother. So what does that let us know? You have a legacy of leadership in your front yard.
Yeah.
Now, your front yard could be a one-bedroom cardboard box under the bridge. Yes, I said it. Black people are living there. Or your home could be the 7,000 square foot mansion. See, that's how expansive we've become. People used to just say across the railroad track. Now we everywhere, right? So I'm coming back to the same thing at the end of the year. Black people willing to come back together within the race. Black women loving black men and black men loving black women.
Ms. Howard, can I ask you this? When we talk about people like Michelle Obama and we talk about her book, when people reach that status, do you feel like they have to make a decision on when they put out content what's most impactful? And sometimes the people that's already readers, people that's already active mothers, people that's already as active in the community, sometimes they get left out because of the information that they're trying to put out. They're speaking to a specific demographic that does not necessarily include us. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but...
So, as unapologetically black as I am, and anyone that really knows me knows, I introduce myself with what I lead first, right? I am a woman who happens to be black. But Stevie Wonder could tell I'm a woman. So I lead with my gender, and I live with the love of my blackness. And that's the reality. Now, in Michelle Obama writing a book, and I have great friends, Hillary Beard, I love you, a #1 New York Times bestselling author, Linda Villarosa, they will all tell you when you're writing a book, you must choose. How much, once you crack open, how far you gonna go to the sweet spot, right? Do I need to tell you every aspect of my life? There still is a thing called privacy. So I do believe that First Lady Michelle Obama's book is an excellent cross-section of her life and experiences appropriately shared. She kept it real enough to tell y'all, she says it straight. Barack, she didn't say president, Barack and I had to work on this marriage. The White House made it even more challenging, right? I mean, I'm privileged enough to have friends who know her. They were excited, and she was excited on the day she just said later, I'm going to the brunch at X's house because I need to be with my girls today. You only get the phone call like an hour in advance. So now everybody's swirling because you know who's coming, right? This is the reality. She shared some of that. She lost all her privacy. But then there are days you just want to go and sit down and have a mimosa and what? Get a shampoo.
Right. And a pressing comb.
There you go. and it's real.
Comb.
There you go. Right. And so when you ask me, do I think you make choices? Absolutely. But do I think you sell out? That's a choice. So you said LeBron James. I want to speak about LeBron James as an example of leadership. Whether LeBron James was hooping it up or whether LeBron James was sitting across from us here, I believe LeBron James showed up to give you an example of leadership. If you go back to his early high school tapes, LeBron James was already showing you he is a leader. A leader of himself. His physical fitness, his self-love. Those are the ways we turn those things around.
In addition to that,
In high spy from Tim's.
I think another great example about LeBron James is he's the perfect example of how to extract resources. So rather, you know, some of us get hyper conscious and they don't want to work for the man and they don't want these corporate jobs. But the object of the game is to be as successful as you can so that you can serve people that look like you or that come from your environment. So when you look at the things that LeBron has done with his Nike contract and his NBA contracts, and you look at follow the money. If you look at where the money has went in his community, in his children, the investments that he's made, I think that in addition to leading himself and being a leader, he's also the epitome, in my opinion, of being the person and of how to extract resources and invest them in things that benefit you ultimately.
Absolutely. And how he pulled his friends along.
Right.
And celebrated their strength. You wouldn't come along and say, gee, you need to be the secretary of my organization because 2 things you know about me on the real. 1, I don't type well. And 2, that's not the best use of my talent. But gee, you gonna be the strategy person, and then we're gonna organize and execute here. Raise your hand. His dear friend who runs the industries. Look how he lives his life. He physically takes care of himself first. He goes and gets medicine. He has the machine that really keeps his body oxygenated, allows his heart to rest with the EEC machine. These are things that his peers just looked at. Shaq did some of those things as well. I'd be wrong if I didn't say that Shaq always had EECP, but his height and his body probably demanded him have it too, right? But he made choices. So you say follow the money, prime example. What did Dick Gregory used to say? I must lift Dick up. I can never not mention Dick Gregory. Dick always said, sometimes it's the reverse story. It's not what you do, it's what you're willing to sacrifice. So he tells this really wild story. And you know it.
Mm-hmm.
I shared it with you, right?
Yes.
This story is amazing. They studied medicine. All they could do was study on cadavers, dead bodies, right? Mm-hmm. Well, doctors cutting. The more dead bodies you got, the more you thought you were smart, the better chance you had of have medical breakthroughs. Mm-hmm. Dick said doctors were cutting on cadavers. Then you come in with an appendicitis. They didn't wash their hands. They just came and treated you, and you died. So people come into the Knickerbocker and those early hospitals. We grew up in New York, right? People would come there, you die. So especially black women, they said they're not having no babies in the hospital because you died. Mm-hmm. Well, it was from transferring disease. Mm-hmm. Well, the man who knew best, when he found out we were actually transferring infection, they thought he was crazy. Put him in a mental hospital. Right. Tell him, put him in the mental hospital. Mm-hmm. He finally got out and convinced them. He says, let me do the experiment to show you. He went into the middle. Everything was in the round. Surgery and all medical schools used to observe. You actually or down on the surgery. He says, I'm going to cut myself. You're going to lock the door and see what happens. He died 3 days later. Mm. But
he died from an infection.
He died from the infection that already existed in the room from the cadaver when he cut himself with the scalpel. Mm-hmm. But they had institutionalized him. They had blacklisted him. He was a great physician, but, he was cuckoo. Do you see the sacrifice he made? Mm-hmm. Now hospitals are what? Clean. Mm-hmm. So now that's the ultimate test, isn't it?
Correct.
So we get stuck in money. I went to the place, the guy says, did you hear what Drake did? He bought the ladies groceries. I said, I'm not impressed. Mm-hmm. What you mean? He bought all the people in line groceries. I said, but did he ensure they'll have groceries for the next 10 years? Mm-hmm. Did he create an opportunity for that to be sustainable? Mm-hmm. I'm not impressed.
Tim, what you looking at?
LJ.
Tim's got something. What you got, man?
No, I just wanted to say LeBron James did something very similar. And a lot of people don't realize what he actually did. I think that the future NBA players, they're indebted to him because he took away the slave mentality of free agency.
Right.
He did. And I think it really showed his coach, his owner in Cleveland was upset because he didn't get anything for him. Right. LeBron didn't care. LeBron went ahead, he put his people in charge, his friends, that he got them all to a point where they were ready to run his businesses for him, and those were his agents. So he didn't have an agent to tell him, okay, we gotta get with the team and get this person back for you or whatever. He made the move.
He was in the vehicle.
That broke through a lot of stuff in the NBA right there. I think a lot of players now, they just keep him, and they should keep him in their mind, because if you look at what's happening now, free agency is a really, really big thing in the NBA. Who's going to be a free agent next year? Who's going to be next year? People are moving.
Right,
they're on their
sure.
own now, and that word free agency is exactly what it means. They're free agents at that point. So before it wasn't. So I think when his career is over, people are going to realize what he really stood for to the NBA.
In addition to that, when LeBron made that move, one thing that he did that was critical was that he exposed the slave mentality.
Exactly.
By the way that the owner responded. So
right.
if you think about the way the owner responded when he made that decision, it was all the cats were out the bag after that. So it was no more discussion on whether or not how these owners feel about these players.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to hold on for 1 second. We're going to do a little extra for y'all because it's the end of the year. We got some good people in here. We can't get our phone lines back up. We're going to do the top of the hour, though.
KCEP, 88.1 FM, Las Vegas. Owned and operated by the Economic Opportunity Board of Clark County. Broadcasting in HD1. We are Power 88, the People Station.
Well, the People Station is back. This is Like It Is Radio, and we are closing the year out strong. Appreciate the extra opportunity to, I would say, the dialogue with the community, but the community is going to listen to us dialogue because we're just talking about some things. We are Like It Is Radio, simulcasting on the Film Review YouTube channel. So if you want to check us out, see what we look like in the studio, you can always check us out at Like It Is Radio on Facebook, on Woodland Films on Facebook. You can watch, subscribe, let us know what's going on, and make us feel good. Make us feel good. But in any event, I'm sitting here with always Cheryl. Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, all that good stuff.
Thank you.
Kwanzaa events going on today at the West Las Vegas Library Theater and the Arts Center tomorrow. So if you make your way over there to celebrate with the people, just make sure you have a good time. We have Miss Griselle Howard, president of the Black AIDS Institute, chairperson, of the board of directors for the Black AIDS Institute. We're going to talk about that because that's something really important the community, especially here, should describe and know about. And also we have Mr. LJ.
Peace.
You use your last name, man? Use your last name?
No, not really.
All right. Well, I just want to make sure before I put it out there because he's the founder and one of the main persons working with Mastering, co-founder with Mastering Mindsets. The brothers that were doing work in the community, they work with your man, so, they're working with our kids, and I appreciate the help that they're putting out there. We're talking about the 6th annual Kemet in the Desert series. If you want to get busy with that and help us do some things, we're bringing Freeway Rick Ross to town. Yes, all of these events are free and happening at the West Las Vegas Library Theater for Black History Month starting February. The direction of Mr. Oscar Robinson. And then we're bringing in the pills. Yes, the blue pill and the red pill. If you saw The Matrix, you had a choice, the blue pill or the red pill. Well, these are two internet gentlemen who are letting us know through their conceptualization of some of the things that we may take for granted. The youth see it different. So trying to provide an intergenerational connection with you. And then we're having the Night of the Negro Spiritual. We're going to bring all that music together from the beginning to the end. There are several local gospel groups that want to get busy. So I'm telling you, if you have a local gospel group and you can sing a Negro spiritual or a medley of Negro spirituals, please contact me right here at the station. When the phones are up, it's 702-648-0104. That's the main office. Or you can reach me at Like It Is Radio on Facebook because we're putting it together. We have evangelist Janet Gloyd's going to be singing. I forgot the other lady's name, man. Effie something. We got some singers from the community, but we're looking for some more. We need a gospel choir. So I'm also talking to Mr. Aaron Arrington. I'm putting you on blast, Aaron. I'm about to call you when I get off the air.
What about your church choir?
Oh, we talked to the people at the V. We working it out. Don't worry, the V is going to be represented. I already know that. I can't go anywhere unless I go there. Because I got to give a big shout out. Oh, happy belated birthday to Dr. Fowler. And, his birthday was 2 days before Christmas.
And we also have to say happy Earth Day to someone that's sitting in this room. They had an Earth Day yesterday.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Franklyn.
Thank you very much.
Birthday,
Franklyn. Happy birthday, Franklin.
Okay, we went all out with that one. I appreciate everybody's love on the internet. And y'all East Coast folks, y'all got to know.
Franklin Verley's birthday on the second day of Kwanzaa. Kuji Chakalia. Nothing happens by chance or coincidence. What does Kuji Chakalia mean? Self-determination.
In addition to that, did Franklin tell y'all that he was awarded an award?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Tell us about it. Congratulations.
Don't be backward.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to all the folks who recognize the community work that I'm allowed to do here at the radio station under the leadership of Mr. Craig Knight with the Breakdown crew. AK,
Breakdown.
Sweet Lou. Yeah, all right, Sweet Lou.
Sweet Lou.
So we're just trying to keep you connected, and I appreciate the group. And it happened over at the Africa Love there. It was, a lot of folks. I was surprised. I was really, really shocked because I didn't know that. Mr. Ron Savoy and all the folks appreciate the recognition, but it's all about getting the word out there through dialogue, and Power 88 allows me to provide that. So big shout out. Thanks
Once again, the sacrifice, like the Dick Gregory story. You do sacrifice for us. We appreciate it. You create an opportunity for us to dialogue. And as W. Roundtree used to say, and if you don't know who W. Roundtree is the woman that carried the book bag of Mary McLeod Bethune and sat in the parlor while Mary McLeod Bethune and Eleanor Roosevelt decided to integrate the armed forces. And W. Roundtree is the reason we can ride the airplane and the bus. So black people can ride transportation because of W. Roundtree. What Dove said when she died at 98 this year, always remain current And that's what you're challenging us to do this year at Kemet in the Desert by bringing in the blue pill and the red pill social media phenomena. That's why you have LJ to your right, because him and his organization challenge us to be current. And I think that was the conversation Dr. Phil is also challenging us with. It. What worked, works, and what doesn't, doesn't. But we have to remain current if we want our children to thrive and be viable as we move forward, and it is required.
And if I may, Franklin, give you your flowers while you live. And one thing that was special about that award that you got was because it embodied everything that you represent. Even the time and the money that you spend right here on your own show. When you listen to this show, you hear all these callers calling in and disagreeing with Frank. And they don't call nearly as much and disagree with all the other people as much as they do Frank. And the cool thing about Frank is he let him. He listens to everybody. But in addition to all the education, like you say, the Latin on your wall, one thing that John Henry Clark said that you had the privilege of meeting it. And I got to know him through his books, you know what I'm saying? So is knowledge without action is vanity. So you don't have the Latin on your wall just to hang it on the wall and say you did it. But in addition to that, you're trying to preserve and continue the education and give the education to the community so that it can live forever, so that it don't necessarily just die with you. And I appreciate that about you, the time and the money that you spent on your own, man. That was well deserving.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you, sister.
And that village would say, he's been like this a long time.
And just the knowledge and wisdom that he's given me that I've been able to pass on to friends and to especially my daughter. You know, it's something to have the knowledge and to keep it, but you share it. You share it. And not only do you share it, you try to make us progressive thinkers. You're making us have to get out of our bubble and our own, you know, our own way of how we want to be to make us think forward. So I want to say thank you, because I've learned so much from you.
Thank you.
And all this knowledge that I've learned from you, I'm able to pass it on to my daughter. And to me, that means more than anything, to be able to give her the knowledge that I wouldn't have had if I didn't get it from you. So thank you. And for all of those that don't want to accept the knowledge that you have to offer, that's their choice.
Well, thank you.
That's
So,
their
Old
choice.
Power 80, or KCEP. The fact that we have Black Radio, we can get the information out there.
And you don't monetize the information. 99.9% of the things that you do in this community is for free. And a lot of people can't say that. And I appreciate that big time as well.
Yes. At this time of Kwanzaa, because I can vouch for the village. He lives by the spirit of Maya. He gives because he knows whatever you give, you get it back 10 times.
I need some points to get into heaven because I've done some wrong things too. But as we know, I got to talk about your event and what you had done and what you do and what you represent, because one of the things here, especially in Las Vegas, people have been watching. I know y'all been watching Empire, and I was talking to some folks and they didn't know where PrEP was. But as the chairperson of the board of directors of the Black AIDS Institute, which is singularly focused on the influction and the reduction, or did I say the reduction of AIDS within our community, because it is in the Black community. It has moved out of the other community and all this stuff, and we see it within the Black community. And also, I believe, the #1 victims of this dreaded disease to this day, known as AIDS, are Black women.
The Black AIDS Institute, Unapologetically Black, is the only Black think tank in the country focused exclusively on Black people and eradicating HIV in our communities today. And we've had the support of Power 88 and Like It Is and the breakdown from its inception. So we want to thank you. I want to thank you always for treating us so warm and allowing me to come and really attempt to drag those who don't want to and support those who choose to be advocates. Advocates unapologetically Black for Black people. Today, I would share with you the #1 group of people dying of HIV in America are our young Black men who have sex with men. Notice what I said. Young Black men who have sex with men. I didn't say they were gay. I didn't say they were straight. I didn't say they were bi. I didn't say they were trans. And I certainly didn't say they were unloved. But young Black men, the #2 group, are African American women. And then what I would also say is this, because we don't say it enough. Black people are some of the most conservative people in the world. I don't care what anybody else tells you. We are not the loosest. We certainly aren't the ones having the most sex. Although at the end of the year, I hope everyone has safe sex how you want it, when you want it, as long as you want it, but you can have it safely. And what I'd like to report today is that we have the biomedical intervention and tools to eradicate HIV. However, it still hasn't occurred. Why? Messaging. The messenger matters. So if there's one thing I can tell you today, if you are HIV negative and engage in activities that would make you at high risk for HIV, there are one pill a day that you can take to ensure that you will not contact HIV. If you are HIV positive, the news is amazing. You are free to love again. You are free to love someone with HIV and free to love someone without. There are real stories. A great guy meets a great woman, or a great guy meets another great guy, as you see in Empire with Jussie Smollett, one of my board members, one of our best board members. Actively, as LJ said, follow his money and follow his sacrifice. Today we have a pill, PrEP, pre-prophylactic. You get an HIV test, you're HIV negative, and you can start your prescription. Back to our earlier conversation, they're gender specifics. Because I speak about gender a lot doesn't mean I don't love black men. For the record, black men love me and I love black men. However, we must speak truth. And the gender specific, even in medicine, is this. Black men can take PrEP for a week and they are already, the antibodies are there and they are ready to engage in safe sex. Even with someone that is affected with HIV.
Still wearing a condom?
Still wearing a condom is the ultimate, absolutely. But even without a condom.
Really?
Even without a condom, if you get in our system. Did you hear what I said? 7 days, 3 to 7 days for men, about 10 to 20 days for women.
Is that just black men or white men?
This is
gender
gender specific,
Okay.
and this is us.
Okay.
And so I always start with health, but I want to give you a new word today, wealth. WELL-TH. We always talk about getting money, money. I submit to you the richest man in the world was Steve Jobs. He had all the money, but he could not buy his WELL-TH. He could not buy his wealth. Black people, we have to get well. Whether it's HIV, whether it's heart disease, whether it's obesity, whether it's diabetes, whether it's mental illness, behavioral health. There's some startling things. Our life expectancy dropped 4 years in 2018. All black people across the board. We are expected now to live 4 less years than we did in 2016. Wow. Our young people are killing themselves. Suicide rate for black people is the highest it's ever been in the history. That is frightening. You know, when I grew up, we used to say, oh, suicide, that was a white person problem.
Right.
I want it to be somebody else's problem again. No one's, but not ours for sure.
Right.
Unapologetically. Finally, we are dying 20 years and below. The number one reason black men are dying? Guns. So guns in our community, at 20 years and below, you're likely to die faster. This is serious. We used to live longer. We had the less wrinkles. So what are we now? We have mastered the master's issues? We have mastered the master's issues, right? So closing out on PrEP, here's what you do. If you know that you are actively engaged in intravenous drug use, have multiple partners, don't know their history, don't know your history, don't know your HIV status, engage in anal sex, you should be on PrEP.
Say it again.
You should be on PrEP. So what's the thing you do? Number one, know your status. Know your HIV status. Once you know your HIV status, make informed decisions. And that's what we tried to share in Empire. Also, in Empire, you saw the reverse of what I want to challenge black women with. We go to church, we bake cakes, we take chicken soup, we even take care of people we don't like. Now, we could write a book about all the psychosis black women have. We take care of the people that beat you up, took your money, and you still go and take care of that man. Take care of yourself. Know your status. And if you engage in activities, you can still love. And if you're HIV positive, you can still love. Cookie was the one that was afraid in the film, right? In the episodes. Lucius decided he was going to take the high road. But you know, that's media as well, right? I would submit to you, black women can remove the stigma of HIV. Because if Big Mama say so, it's so. So, one, the God I serve loves everyone. So whether you're straight, gay, cis, trans, somebody loves you. And if not, love yourself. So if you're HIV positive, get on your meds and stay on your meds. If you're HIV negative, consider PrEP. And the young women, I'm speaking directly to you because I was alive when Kennedy was assassinated. The worst thing when I grew up was you could get pregnant or get VA, or somebody would get a VP and you get a shot, right? Today, now, the thing you love, I hope if you're having great sex, you love it, you want to have it safely. And we can do that again. AIDS is no longer a death sentence. And Magic Johnson takes medicine, y'all. I don't care. I hope he can call him one day. Follow the money, follow the courage. Oh, live by what? Example. He need to come and tell everybody he takes medicine. And if him and his wife are having passion, she takes medicine. This is not a joke. It's for real. And unfortunately, we need a video game. You know, video games are interesting. Everything bad in a video game is black. I want to make a video game where everything in the video game that's good is black. Because there is light in the darkness. And I hope, if nothing else, you celebrate Franklyn and this show, because he does bring light to the darkness in an unapologetically way. And so I hope when you allow me to come and hang out with y'all, I just shine light in some areas that may really be in the back and may be painful. But once you shine the light on them, it's all good. And you know, black women are the more majority. And so if we can talk about things openly and say, love everyone, love ourselves first again, consider PrEP. If you know a person on HIV, ask them, are you complying on your medication? Did you know you could actually run around now and take your meds, and when they test you for HIV, it looks like you don't have it? That's Magic Johnson's case. He is virally suppressed. He still has AIDS, okay, you guys? But he's virally suppressed. So we can live vibrant lives. There are a lot of people with HIV today over 70 years old. We're being challenged with keeping them on meds and now managing diabetes or heart attack, right? Because they've lived.
Well, as we know, we've been blessed to have your friend Hydea in here, who's a favorite.
But Hydea's a unique case. And Hydea, I love you if you're listening. Hydea's case was she was born with HIV. Right. This is not happening in America the same way. The only way a baby is born today with HIV in America is if the mom did not go for prenatal care, Cheryl. That's the only way.
Why, is it detected during those?
Yes, and we can give the mother medicine and the baby can come healthy. So Hydea has outlived something we never thought we'd see. You see? But Hydea still cannot outlive stigma.
Right.
Hydea cannot outlive stigma. Right. Hydea cannot outlive the navigation of healthy relationships with great men because she is the poster child of HIV. Hydea is still navigating that stigma. Hydea is still navigating the journey of life wearing a letter. Do we see Hydea and have compassion for her in that way? Hydea still takes meds. She's beautiful. You saw her, December 1st? She's fabulous. But Hydea still has the challenges of creating a whole, comprehensive, happy life because she does have to deal with the stigma that she decided to sacrifice herself. So consider Hydea. There's got to be great guys. Why you don't get on PrEP and love up on her, too? This is a different conversation, isn't it?
Because of the stigma, though.
There you go. But black women can remove stigma. Or you want to act like Cookie in the film. You see? This is how we act, right? What if this great guy brings Hydea home and said, well, now, wait a minute, let that girl. Oh, no. Now it's on. That's not what black women used to do.
And to add to that, the hypocrisy of it, 15 years ago, the running joke was, well, how is Magic Johnson gaining weight? Because even when we first found out that he had contracted it, didn't he come back and play another year or two?
Yes, but he found out his college didn't want to play with him.
They didn't want to play with him.
The stigma was that.
Right. When he had that cut and he sat on the bench and everybody moved away from him.
Yes. Yeah. I
So
remember that.
and that
And
goes.
his closest friend.
Wow, wow. So we all wanted to know, how do they maintain this relationship? How are they outliving all these people who's dying of diabetes and all these other common diseases, quote unquote. But here it is. When we fast forward the time and we look at this age that we're in right now, this age of information, the answers are there. But correct me if I'm wrong. The issue now is we're not just getting tested at the rates that we need to be tested as a community.
We're not getting tested. We're also not sharing this information. That's what Franklyn was saying. There's so many people that still don't know about PrEP. But here's the story of HIV in general. We were told it was a gay man's disease. That wasn't true. That was not true. We were told don't let people drink behind you can contract. There are very few ways. But are we addressing that? Through bodily fluids, through unprotected sex. You can't catch it from drinking out the water fountain, using the same toilet, using the same silverware. That's not true.
Let me ask you a question. Can two women pass it? Because I was always told that two women can't pass it to one another.
So
a man and woman can pass it, but not two women. Two men can pass it, but not two women.
So it's very rare occurrences of HIV in pure lesbian couples. Now, you can look at me and say, why is she saying that? And I'm not trying to be provocative or interesting. What I'm saying to you is this. Two women who are
Strictly two women.
together, not engaged in any other activity, will be fine. We have not seen that. However, there are occurrences when one of the women has stepped out and engaged in with toys. You have the same thing. What did I say?
Yes.
Okay. So now that in a really kind of sketchy scenario, but that is how things would occur. But just pure lesbian sex, that was miseducation of the black woman too. Stop it.
So is it doesn't exist?
What
or
is
the term
down
should
low?
be-
What is down low? What is that really? What is it?
It's
Men
nothing
who
else,
have
isn't it?
sex with men transmit and pass HIV. So now, men who have sex with men who have unprotected sex, as Maxine Waters used to say, come on now, you could be married. So what? You know if you're sharing your man, you know before he know.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so let's stop all of this demonizing a group of people. I mean, a lot of men who have sex with men really ain't getting with you anyway. That's the least of our worries. Our worry is much more about who you are having sex with and their history and your practices. So let's stop romancing situations and saying it's not me. Specifically people with the Latin on the wall, middle class, and you drive your BMW and you drive your Mercedes and you're sharing your man. Keep it real. How many of you married and your man had babies outside the marriage? I wish y'all could call in. Holler back.
But we get out of here soon. So the phone lines are down. The red pill and the blue pill. We talking Ms. Howard. And as we look at the clock, we're going to get out of here because it's important that we talk about AIDS in our community. We're going to take something 5 minutes. So what we're going to do is just figure out how to say goodbye. And 2018 has been a great year. We look forward to all your support in 2019 for the events we're going to be trying to do. And we give a big shout out to everybody who's participated. We're still here, girls, ladies. They saying goodbye, catching up. We look forward to doing several events during the course of 2019. We want to bring back the Emancipation Circle, which, happy, she's going out. We want to bring back the Emancipation Circle, which occurred at the 100 Academy under Miss Rachele's Connor Principality. We'll be looking forward to do that. Again, hopefully the first weekend of February as we celebrate Black History Month. And one last note as we close out. Yes, there will be a Sankofa series. I just found out about that. Well, I found it a while ago. Sankofa series happening at the West Las Vegas Arts Center. It's happening in January, February, and March. The Sankofa series is an opportunity where they're allowing me, yes, to come and talk with you about several of the events through our history, our sojourn, our looking back. That's what Sankofa is all about, looking back with a degree of reverence for things that have happened. So we're going to talk about for the first week at the Sankofa series, which I believe is the week after Dr. King's birthday Saturday at the West Las Vegas Arts Center. Yes, I know you like this one, Rizzo. You're going to talk about the autobiography of her name was Linda Brandt, but they really called her, what? Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl. She was an autobiography that she wrote, and it's all. I'm just gonna cheat and tell everybody. Yeah, I know y'all may not be into too much reading, but you can go on YouTube and look up the book or find it on Books That Talk. I guess it's been transcribed into words, and it's called Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, and it's either the story of Harriet Jacobs or Linda Brandt.
It's called an audio book.
Audio book. Thanks for bringing me into the millennial.
You must stay current.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Well, I read the book. I just know I'm talking to the community. But if you want to attend these series, we're going to talk about the oppression that befell a woman who was a slave. In her own words, an autobiography that she has written herself. When it first came out, white people didn't believe that a black person could write that well. But in addition to that, the story was verified because the owner of her owner,
taught her.
Well, taught her. Well, she knew how to read. Mm-hmm. You can hear her own story. He took out ads in the local paper to find her. So if you could believe that, a slave owner, her story of oppression is not just from the owner of the slave owner, the doctor, but from the doctor's wife. From the people who sojourned with her, the other slaves who thought she had a better life inside the house. If you also 12 years a slave, didn't you see my girl getting hit with that glass in the face and all kind of abuse that was befell upon her by her owner? Well, the same kind of thing this woman was able to tell us in this story, and it's Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl. We'll be talking about that, the first installment of the Sankofa series. It is my pleasure to talk with you all, as always, through Power 88. We're going to say goodbye to Miss Howard, and thank you again, Miss Howard.
Thank you.
Tell them I can catch you at the Black AIDS Institute, because people need to know about the preparations and things they can do to prepare.
Continue to support Empire. Continue to support all of the Black AIDS Institute's ambassadors. Jussie Smollett, board member. Let us see. Billy Porter, recognized as a hero in the struggle.
Yes, he was great.
And continue to support Vanessa Williams, Soul Food, is one of our most esteemed celebrities. There's a whole group of people committed to eradicating HIV. I also want to challenge you with, if you were alive when Kennedy was assassinated, get a Hep C test. That means 1965 and below, 46 to 65. Get a Hep C test. Hep C is actually going to be worse than HIV, but they're not telling you about it.
Well, there you have it. We don't have the blue pill, the red pill, and we got Grizel pill. So y'all get some information today. And then to the way out, we're going to shout out my man LJ. Appreciate what you've been doing over the course of the year. Tell them how they can reach you with the Master and Mindset youth group that you've been working with.
Master and Mindset's youth empowerment organization. www.mastering, M-A-S-T-E-R-I-N-G.
And again, we want to thank KCEP for all the help and keeping us informed, allowing the airways to be free and keep the information out there. We voted. We got who we want. Now's the year to push them to do what we want. Also got to shout out Crazy D. You can check out what we do at Lordland Films and the film review on YouTube. He's keeping us the film. He's giving us good sound and keeping us for the next millennium in a technologically sound place. I guess that's the internet.
Yeah.
You can't mess with the internet.
Social media, advocating 2019 for something.
Big shout out to Tim's. Y'all get the music going. It's the last Friday of the year. Come on out to Chrome tonight. Get busy. Yeah, get busy.
Hey, nothing happens by accident. Listen,
All the whole area?
Yes, nothing happens. Listen, nothing happens by accident. Be grateful. Nothing happens by accident.
I'm grateful.
I'm saying to him,
oh,
listen, be grateful. Listen, nothing happens by accident.
That was a great show.
Hey, you don't know. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You don't know. You don't know. Nothing happens by accident. Hey, the pill, Dr. Phil got cut off.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil got cut off. The pills never came on. Pay attention. I'm telling you, pay attention.
There you have it. Another edition of Like It Is Radio, the last Friday of the year.
Right.
That's what we do.
Dr. Phil putting down ain't true though. He got to talk about trauma himself.
Well, he's going to talk about it during his new show
You
coming
know
on
what
Fox.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
But he's going to be like a Vanya Lanzan. You watch. I ain't want to.
They only let you do so much on TV.
Well, they only let you do so much on network TV. And Diddy got enough money. He should go and get a channel. You see what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
Did
it's
he
like
get a channel?
No, it's like Floyd Mayweather. Why he go buy a titty bar instead of going and buying the Hooters, the club, the casino? Buy the casino. You see what I'm saying? Okay. He bought the strip club
Yeah.
instead of the casino.
We gotta get out and let these guys go ahead and play. Check us out.
Did I say something?
No, the
He gave me a
DJs. The DJs over there looking at us like, get out of here.
You don't want to be. Yeah.